Awesome. Thanks so much for coming in.
Oh,
It's
thanks for
great.
having me.
All right. Well, let's talk about how you got to Man a Few Words. When did you start playing music?
I think I started kind of late in life compared to a lot of my peers. I didn't grow up in the most musical of families, so we were a big sports family, and you know, when we were riding in the car on road trips and stuff, we would listen to football games, you know, from who knows where, just coming in intermittently over the radio. So I really kind of came into music late. I think probably around high school when I stopped growing and realized I wasn't gonna be playing sports myself. You know, I just kind of fell in love with guitar, which is where I started, and would just lock myself in my room after school and just spend hours playing along to my favorite records and trying to learn, you know, how to make sense of that instrument. And it just took off from there.
Were there any particular artists that that kind of lent to that love of guitar?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was a limited access that we had at our house. So my mom had her old Beatles records, and you know, that was a very vital part. I think for any one of us here, if you ask us, that was probably, you know, where we cut our teeth musically, and it just kind of spawned out from there.
Do you have a favorite Beatle? I pick up George Harrison when I was a kid.
You know, I'm a big George fan. I think he had the strongest solo career post Beatles, but I like to give Ringo the benefit of the doubt because I think he was the most fun of any of them.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Well, let's talk about the EPs that you put out before Man a Few Words.
Uh-huh.
When did you work on those albums, and how did they kind of lead to your full length?
When did I work on those?
Yeah.
I put out Man a Few Words. No, I put out Yesterday's News in February of 2008. That was an EP I did in the studio where I played all the instruments myself, and you know, I was kind of learning how to make records and you know, learning how this whole music business works. So it was kind of a fun experiment to see if it would work, one, and two, how to build off of it.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I was really lucky that a lot of people, you know, found it and liked it, and it opened some doors to do something else. And later that year, I recorded an EP live with a band. It was called Side 2, and we made it only available as a digital download. And that was another thing where I was just trying to see, you know, what it would be like to get everybody and record tracks live in a room, you know, the way records used to be made. Mm-hmm. And we had a lot of fun. But this record, I think, was the first one that I really felt like I was learning how I make records best. You know, we kind of tried some different things out. We were able to be deliberate in the sounds we were trying to capture. We were creative, and we tried other things. Even when we got a good take, we always pushed to see what was on the other side of it, or, you know, how would it sound going through a different microphone or a different, you know, room, or, you know, it was a good experiment to learn how to work on a record. And I feel like I know a little bit now how I'm supposed to make records, at least for me, for now. Jeff and I would sit down a lot in the studio, and we would flesh out the ideas. He was very adamant about, you know, bringing in just sparse arrangements, just demos with guitar or piano and vocal, which is something I had never really done before. I always, you know, demoed at home and would add overdubs and try to build up arrangements in my head. And it was great to have someone to collaborate with in the studio, mm-hmm. To come up with different ideas, to bounce ideas off of, and to also just, you know, to quality control check things. You know, sometimes you chase an idea only to find out later on it's the wrong one. Mm-hmm. And I think we were able to work quickly and effectively together to kind of weed out those bad ideas and get to the good stuff. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, how did you get hooked up with Jeff? I mean, he brings with him like an incredible family of musicians.
Yeah, he knows a lot of people, that's for sure. I'm good friends with Cameron and Matt. Cameron's one of the first people I met when I moved here from getting out of college. And his band, Bright Young Things, had done some demo work at Jeff's studio at Arbor Ridge. And I was getting ready to make another record, and I'd worked in some different places before, and he was just looking for a change of scene. And Cameron suggested I talk to Jeff, so I contacted him, and you know, we sat down to meet and talked about what we wanted to do and what we wanted a project to sound like. And there was a lot of common ground there musically, which I was really excited by. Mm-hmm. And we hit it off pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm. Well, a lot of the material that comes out of Arbor Ridge kind of has a vintage sound, not really lo-fi so much as 1960s kind of Britpop sound. Were you going for that on this album?
You know, I think more than that, I was going for something that would be around for a while. The music that I love is, you know, the classic pop music of the 60s and the 70s, even before that. and the things that I love about that music are the timeless qualities to it. You know, they're quality arrangements, they're great hooks, it's good writing, and it's great players playing on those records, my favorite records. And you know, they don't sound maybe in the now compared to the other stuff they were released with, but they age well. And it was very important when we sat down to make this record to make something that was going to be true to the vision that we had musically for it, but that we were also going to be able to enjoy 5-10 years down the road.
Mm-hmm. Well, you actually told me today that you've had some pretty cool promotion from Pace Magazine, actually. Is that correct?
Yeah, I just found out last night, actually, that they're offering a free download of the song we just played, which is the first song off the record, on their website right now. So if you go to brettharrismusic.com, there's a link to that, and I'm going to get to play in their office in a few weeks. So I'm down there in Atlanta for a show.
Very cool. Any other big promotional plans for you?
You know, I think just to keep getting out there and playing, and you know, college radio has been really receptive here locally to play my record so far, and just we hope that things will continue to build and they'll be able to reach fans one listener at a time.
Cool. Now, where can folks pick up Man a Few Words?
It's actually available here in the Triangle locally at record stores, at School Kids in Raleigh, at CD Alley in Chapel Hill, and at Offbeat Music and at Chaz's Bull City Records in Durham. You can get it off of my website at brettharrismusic.com. It'll take you to cdbaby.com. If you look for me there, you can get a hard copy. And it's also available online, like Bandcamp, iTunes, all those places.
It's all over the place.
All over the place, yeah.
Cool. Well, let's hear some more tunes.
Cool. This is a track called Perpetual Motion. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Perpetual motion, we never stop, we change direction, we're like a wave on the ocean, we're tossed about with no protection from the chaos that's swirling around. Oh, the gravity that's bringing us down, we rely on the purest of sound to lead us on. Whoa. Oh, you gotta keep on moving. Oh, you gotta keep on moving. You're like a change in the weather, a flash of a light before the thunder, but you gotta keep it together. You gotta keep from going under, but the weight of the winds in your hair and the sweet summer song in the air takes away all my thoughts and my cares till there's just you. Oh, you gotta keep on moving. 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 We are standing on the edge tonight, with our eyes softly fixed on the pale horizon. We'll be dancing under open skies when our ship comes in. We are standing on the edge tonight, with our eyes softly fixed on the pale horizon. We'll be dancing under open skies when our ship comes in.
next song we're going to play is called Unspoken.
Well, sunset slow to the night leaves a trail of golden light across the summer sky over you and I. And it takes me to that evening when you swore you loved me thick and thin, and I believed in you, but you broke my heart in two. You can't keep on keeping everything inside, 'cause it's bound to leave you broken. And I can't keep counting all the tears we cried, but your heart remains unspoken. Oh no, no, no. As the stars came creeping into view, I turned to catch a glimpse at you. You were staring into space, and the tears rolled down your face. So if you must leave, I'll understand. I try to be a bigger man. I'll be sad to see you go, but I want you to know you can't keep on keeping everything inside, 'cause it's bound to leave you broken. And I can't keep counting all the tears we've cried, but your heart remains unspoken. Don't say you love me when I know your heart's not in it. And don't say you need me. I can't take another minute. I can't take another minute. And you can't keep on keeping everything inside, 'cause it's bound to leave you broken. And I can't keep counting all the tears we've cried, but your heart remains unspoken. You can't keep on keeping everything inside, 'cause it's bound to leave you broken. And I can't keep counting all the tears we've cried, but your heart remains unspoken.
This next song is the title track for the record. It's called Man a Few Words.
It's true that I'm a man of few words. I let the mockingbirds do all the talking, 'cause I prefer it. But since you ambled into my life, I ramble all day and night, and I've tried, but I can't deter